Tuesday morning started like any other day. Coffee brewing, newspaper spread across my kitchen table, morning sunlight streaming through yellow curtains. At 68, I cherished these quiet moments before the world demanded my attention. Little did I know my peaceful routine would shatter within minutes. Heavy footsteps thundered down the hallway. My daughter Sophia burst through the kitchen door, wild-eyed and clutching papers against her chest. Her usually perfect blonde hair hung in tangled strands around her flushed face. Something terrible had transformed my sweet girl into this frantic stranger standing before me. "Mom, we need to talk right now," she said, voice trembling with barely contained emotion. Papers scattered across my breakfast table as she dropped them carelessly. Legal documents with official letterheads stared back at me. My stomach twisted into knots as I recognized the formal language printed across each page. Before I could ask what was happening, pain shot through my scalp. Sophia's fingers twisted in my gray hair, yanking my head backward with shocking force. "Sign it now!" she screamed, her voice echoing off the kitchen walls. My coffee mug crashed to the floor, brown liquid spreading across white tiles. The papers slid directly in front of my face as she pressed my head toward the table. Official seals, legal terminology, and blank signature lines filled my vision. At first glance, I thought perhaps these were college documents, or maybe insurance papers she needed help understanding. How wrong I was about everything. Blinking through tears of pain, I read the bold title at the top, Last Will and Testament. Every line was filled out in neat handwriting, my personal information written in spaces meant for my own pen. But the signature lines remained empty, waiting for my trembling hand to complete this nightmare document. My name appeared everywhere, forged in places where initials were required. Bank account numbers I had and never shared were listed with frightening accuracy. Property descriptions matched my home perfectly, down to the address and lot number. Someone had done their homework with terrifying precision and attention to detail. Everything was designated to go to Sophia. The house where I had lived for 30 years, my life savings carefully accumulated through decades of work, jewelry passed down from my grandmother, even my modest blue sedan parked outside. Nothing was left for her father or her younger brother Marcus. No mention of my husband Robert appeared anywhere in these documents. Marcus, my sweet youngest child, was completely erased from what should have been his rightful inheritance. These papers painted a picture where only Sophia existed in my world, where only she mattered enough to receive anything. My heart hammered against my ribs as reality crashed down around me. This wasn't teenage rebellion or a moment of anger. This was calculated, planned, and executed with chilling precision. My own daughter had become a stranger capable of unthinkable betrayal against her own family. "Sophia, why are you doing this?" I whispered through the pain radiating from my scalp. Her grip tightened cruelly, forcing my face closer to the papers. "Because I'm not waiting for you to die," she hissed, her voice cold as winter ice. The words cut deeper than any physical pain. Shock rendered me speechless. This beautiful girl I had raised, taught to ride bikes, helped with homework, celebrated every birthday and achievement with pure joy, now spoke of my death like an inconvenience. When had love turned to greed? When had patience transformed into dangerous desperation? "Just sign the papers, Mom. Make this easy for everyone involved." Her tone suggested this was a reasonable request, as if demanding my entire estate was normal family business. The casual way she spoke about stealing my life's work made my blood run cold with fear and heartbreak. I tried to pull away, but her grip remained iron strong. "Let me read through everything first," I managed to say. This is too important to rush through without understanding every detail. My attempt at stalling only seemed to infuriate her more as her fingers twisted tighter in my hair. "There's nothing to read," she snapped. "Everything's already decided. You just need to sign where I marked the lines. Then we can both get on with our lives." Her words revealed the depth of her selfishness and the cold calculation behind this entire horrible scene. Robert's voice drifted from upstairs, calling my name. He was getting ready for his morning jog, completely unaware that his stepdaughter was attempting to steal his inheritance just floors below. I wanted to scream for help, but fear kept my voice locked in my throat. Marcus was away at college, thankfully spared from witnessing this betrayal. My innocent youngest son had no idea his sister viewed him as competition for money he didn't even know existed. The family I thought was united was crumbling before my eyes in ways I never imagined possible. "Sign it, or I'll make things much worse for you," Sophia threatened. Her voice carried a menace I had never heard before, transforming my loving daughter into someone I barely recognized. The sweet girl who once brought me flowers was gone, replaced by this calculating stranger. Desperation gave me strength. I twisted away from her grasp, several strands of hair tearing loose in her fingers. "I need time to think about this," I said, backing toward the kitchen door. My scalp burned where she had pulled, but freedom felt more important than physical pain. "You don't have time," she called after me. "This needs to happen today, or things will get complicated for everyone." The threat lingered in the air as I escaped to my bedroom, locking the door behind me. My hands shook as I processed what had just occurred. That evening, after Sophia left for her apartment, I made a decision that would change everything. Searching her childhood bedroom felt like violating sacred ground, but I needed answers about my daughter's shocking transformation. Her desk drawer revealed secrets that made my blood freeze with horror and disbelief. Multiple versions of forged documents lay hidden beneath old-school photos. Practice signatures in my handwriting covered several pages, each attempt more accurate than the last. A detailed list of my assets included information only someone very close to me could have obtained through careful observation. Her laptop revealed text messages that shattered my heart completely. Once it's signed, everything's mine. She had written to someone named Tyler. The old woman won't know what hit her. The casual cruelty of her words about her own mother cut deeper than any knife. Screenshots of my bank statements filled her phone's photo gallery. She had been taking pictures during visits when I innocently left my paperwork visible. Every kind gesture, every invitation to family dinner had been opportunities for her to gather intelligence about my finances. More messages revealed the true scope of her planning. "I've been working on this for months," she had texted Tyler. "She trusts me completely, so she'll never see it coming." The betrayal went deeper than I had imagined, reaching back through months of deception and calculated manipulation. Before I continue, I'd love to know where you're reading from and what time at Island. Let me know in the comments. Plans for after obtaining my signature were laid out in disturbing detail. She intended to move me into a nursing home immediately, claiming I was no longer mentally competent to live independently. The speed with which she planned to dispose of me revealed the depth of her callous disregard. A contact list in her phone included lawyers, real estate agents, and financial advisors. She had been building a team to help execute her plan without my knowledge or consent. Every professional relationship I had cultivated was being turned against me by my own daughter. The most chilling discovery was a calendar with dates marked for Phase 1, Phase 2, and Final Step. Today had been marked as Signature Day with multiple exclamation points. Her organization and attention to detail made this feel like a military operation against an enemy target. I realized she hadn't just thought of this once in anger or desperation. Months of careful planning had gone into this betrayal. She had studied my routines, my weaknesses, my trusting nature, and weaponized all of it against me with surgical precision and cold calculation. When I confronted her the next morning, her reaction confirmed my worst fears about what she had become. No shame crossed her features, no regret showed in her eyes. Instead, she smiled coldly and said, "Don't worry, Mom. If you don't sign, I'll find another way to make it official." "What does that mean?" I demanded, my voice shaking with anger and fear. Her casual threats were becoming more direct and more frightening with each conversation. The daughter I thought I knew was revealing herself to be capable of unimaginable cruelty and manipulation. "Mental incompetency hearings are easier to arrange than you might think," she replied with disturbing calmness. "Especially when concerned family members provide evidence of erratic behavior and poor decision-making." Her words hit me like physical blows, each syllable designed to wound and terrorize. Evidence she was referring to became clear as she pulled out her phone. Video recordings of me during private moments filled the screen. Conversations taken out of context, moments of confusion edited to look like dementia. Normal aging presented as mental decline requiring immediate intervention. "You've been recording me without my knowledge?" The violation felt complete and absolute. Every moment of trust had been weaponized against me. Every vulnerable second had been captured and saved for potential use in destroying my reputation and independence in court proceedings. "Insurance," she said simply. just in case you decided to be difficult about signing the papers. Her matter-of-fact tone suggested this level of betrayal was normal family business. The coldness in her voice made me wonder if I had ever truly known my daughter at all. Robert emerged from his study, drawn by raised voices echoing through our home. "What's going on down here?" he asked, looking between us with growing concern. His timing couldn't have been more perfect, arriving just as I needed a witness to this unfolding nightmare. "Nothing, Dad." Sophia lied smoothly. "Just discussing some paperwork Mom needs to handle." Her ability to switch between threat and sweetness within seconds revealed the depth of her manipulation skills. Years of practice had made her a master of deception and emotional control. "What kind of paperwork?" Robert pressed, his detective instincts kicking in after 30 years in law enforcement. Something in Sophia's demeanor triggered his professional suspicions. His experience reading people would soon become my salvation and her downfall in this dangerous game. Sophia's confident mask began to slip under Robert's steady gaze. "Just estate planning stuff," she said, her voice slightly less certain than before. Mom wanted to get her affairs in order. The lie came easily, but Robert's trained eyes caught subtle tells that revealed her deception. "Let me see those documents," Robert said, extending his hand toward the papers. Sophia clutched protectively. His authoritative tone brooked no argument. Years of dealing with criminals had taught him to recognize when someone was hiding something dangerous or illegal. Reluctantly, Sophia handed over the forged will. Robert's expression darkened as he read through each page with growing alarm and anger. His law enforcement background made him immediately recognize the serious crimes represented by these documents, including forgery and attempted fraud. "This is completely fraudulent," Robert announced, his voice carrying the weight of professional certainty. "Multiple felonies are represented in these documents." He looked at Sophia with disappointment and disbelief that his stepdaughter could attempt such a brazen criminal act against her own mother. Sophia's bravado crumbled under the weight of legal reality. "It's not what it looks like," she stammered, but Robert's expression made clear that denial would not work on someone with his experience. The confident manipulator was suddenly a frightened young woman facing serious consequences. "I'm calling the police," Robert said, reaching for his phone. The transformation in the room's atmosphere was immediate and electric. What had been a family dispute was now clearly a criminal matter, requiring professional intervention and legal consequences for Sophia's actions. "Wait!" Sophia screamed, dropping her mask completely. "You can't do this to me. I'm her daughter." Her desperation revealed the entitled mindset that had driven her to attempt this crime. She genuinely believed family relationships should shield her from legal consequences for her actions. "Being her daughter doesn't give you the right to forge documents and commit fraud," Robert replied firmly. His steady voice contrasted sharply with Sophia's growing hysteria. "These are serious felonies that could result in years in prison if prosecuted to the full extent of the law." Fear replaced anger in Sophia's eyes as reality set in. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," she whispered, but Robert remained unmoved by her sudden vulnerability. His years in law enforcement had taught him that criminal behavior required consequences regardless of family relationships. Detective Martinez arrived within 20 minutes of Robert's call. As a former colleague, she understood the gravity of the situation immediately. Her professional demeanor helped maintain order while Sophia's world crumbled around her, consequences finally catching up with her calculated criminal behavior. "Mrs. Patterson, can you walk me through exactly what happened?" Detective Martinez asked gently. Her compassionate approach helped me find my voice to describe the horrifying experience of being physically threatened and manipulated by my own daughter in my own home. Sophia remained silent as I recounted the hair-pulling, the threats, the forged documents, and the planned nursing home placement. Each detail painted a picture of calculated elder abuse that made Detective Martinez's expression grow more serious and concerned. The evidence from Sophia's room provided additional proof of premeditation and criminal intent. Practice signatures, forged documents, stolen financial information, and threatening text messages created an overwhelming case against her. Her months of planning worked against her when presented to law enforcement. "Miss Patterson, you're under arrest for attempted fraud, forgery, and elder abuse," Detective Martinez announced. The words seemed to shock Sophia into silence as handcuffs clicked around her wrists. The confident manipulator was now facing the full weight of legal consequences. As they led her away, Sophia looked back at me with eyes full of hatred rather than remorse. "This isn't over," she mouthed silently, her expression promising future retaliation. Even in custody, she remained unrepentant about her crimes and continued to view me as an enemy rather than a victim. The house felt eerily quiet after the police cars disappeared down our street. Robert wrapped his arms around me as delayed shock set in. "I can't believe my own daughter tried to steal everything from me," I whispered, tears finally beginning to flow freely. "She's not the daughter you raised," Robert said gently. "Something went wrong somewhere along the way." His words offered comfort but couldn't erase the pain of Cloud. Knowing the child I loved had become someone capable of such calculated cruelty and criminal behavior. Legal proceedings began immediately with Sophia refusing all plea bargain offers. Her lawyer argued for reduced charges based on family relationship, but the evidence of premeditation and elder abuse made the prosecution's case overwhelming. Justice would be served regardless of our family connection. Marcus flew home from college when he learned about his sister's arrest. "I can't believe Sophia would do something like this," he said, reading through the police reports with growing disbelief. His innocence about his sister's true nature reminded me of my own naive trust. There were warning signs I chose to ignore, I admitted to Marcus. Her constant questions about money, her interest in my legal documents, her suggestions about nursing homes. Looking back, the patterns were obvious, but love had blinded me to the growing threat. Therapy sessions helped me process the betrayal and begin healing from the trauma. Dr. Williams specialized in family abuse cases and helped me understand that Sophia's actions weren't my fault. "Greed can corrupt anyone," she explained, "even someone raised with love and proper values." The trial lasted 3 weeks, with overwhelming evidence leading to Sophia's conviction on all charges. Her sentence included 5 years in prison and full restitution for legal fees and emotional damages. Justice was served, but the cost to our family was immeasurable and permanent. During sentencing, I chose to address the court about the impact of Sophia's crimes. "She didn't just try to steal my money," I said. "She stole my sense of safety, my trust in family, and my peace of mind. Those are losses that can never be fully recovered." Sophia showed no remorse during sentencing, maintaining her belief that she deserved my estate simply by virtue of being my daughter. Her entitled attitude convinced the judge that she remained a danger to society and her own family members if given another opportunity. Letters arrived at the prison from Sophia, but I chose not to read them. Robert screened my mail to protect me from further manipulation attempts. "Healing requires distance from toxic people, Doctor," Williams had advised, "even when those people are family members you once loved." Marcus struggled with guilt about his sister's imprisonment, feeling somehow responsible for her choices. "You can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved," I told him. Sophia made her own decisions, and now she has to live with the consequences of those criminal actions. Life slowly returned to a new normal without the constant threat of Sophia's manipulation. I changed all my passwords, moved my banking to a new institution, and updated my real will with proper legal representation. Trust would never come as easily again. Support groups for elder abuse survivors provided comfort and understanding from people who had endured similar betrayals. "Family members are often the most dangerous abusers," the counselor explained, "because they have access, trust, and detailed knowledge of their victims' vulnerabilities and weaknesses." A year after the trial, I received notice that Sophia was seeking early parole. Her lawyer claimed she had found religion in prison and deeply regretted her actions. The parole board would decide whether her transformation was genuine or another manipulation attempt designed to secure freedom. I testified against her parole request, describing the ongoing impact of her crimes on my mental health and sense of security. "True remorse requires accepting responsibility," I told the board. Sophia has never acknowledged the pain she caused or apologized for her criminal actions. The parole request was denied, with the board citing lack of genuine remorse and continued danger to the victim. Sophia would serve her full sentence without early release. Justice was maintained, and my safety was protected for several more years at minimum. Marcus graduated college with honors and returned home to help care for Robert and me as we aged. His gentle nature and genuine love helped heal some of the wounds left by his sister's betrayal. Good children can't erase the damage of bad ones, but they can provide hope. On quiet mornings, I still think about the daughter I thought I knew and loved. Somewhere along the way, greed had corrupted her heart and turned her into a stranger capable of unthinkable cruelty. The child who once brought me flowers had become my worst nightmare. Robert's health began declining, making me grateful that Sophia's plan had failed. She would have discarded him immediately after obtaining my signature, denying him proper care in his final years. Her selfishness extended beyond money to basic human compassion and dignity for those she claimed to love. Legal updates still arrive occasionally, but I've learned to focus on the present rather than dwelling on past betrayals. Sophia made her choices, and I made mine. Protecting myself and my family from further harm became my priority rather than trying to salvage a relationship built on lies. The house feels peaceful now, free from the constant underlying tension that Sophia's presence had created. I hadn't realized how much stress her visits had caused until they stopped completely. True family relationships shouldn't require walking on eggshells or guarding against manipulation. Financial advisors helped me restructure my estate planning with additional safeguards against future fraud attempts. Multiple lawyers, witnesses, and security measures now protect my assets from anyone who might try to steal what I've worked a lifetime to accumulate through honest means. Some nights, I wonder what could have been different in Sophia's upbringing that might have prevented her criminal behavior. But Dr. Williams reminds me that some people choose evil despite every advantage and opportunity to choose good. Personal responsibility cannot be avoided or excused. Marcus often asks if I miss Sophia, and the answer is complicated. I miss the daughter I thought I knew, but that person may never have truly existed. The woman who grabbed my hair and demanded my signature was the real Sophia, revealed when greed overwhelmed any love she claimed to feel. Letters from other elder abuse survivors remind me that I'm not alone in this experience. Adult children stealing from aging parents has become an epidemic, often hidden by shame and family loyalty. Speaking out about these crimes helps protect other potential victims from similar betrayals. The scars on my scalp where Sophia pulled my hair have healed, but the emotional wounds remain tender. Physical healing is often easier than emotional recovery from betrayal by someone you trusted completely. Time helps, but some violations of trust leave permanent marks on the soul. Robert and I created a foundation to help other elder abuse survivors obtain legal representation and emotional support. Sophia's crime created something positive through our determination to help others avoid or recover from similar betrayals. Good can emerge from evil when victims refuse to remain silent. 5 years have passed since that terrible morning when my daughter revealed her true nature. Life is quieter now, more peaceful, but forever changed by the knowledge that even children can become enemies when greed corrupts their hearts completely and they lose all sense of family loyalty. Sometimes I catch myself looking at families in restaurants or parks, wondering which of those children might someday threaten their parents for money. The innocence of believing in family bonds was stolen from me that day, along with my sense of complete safety in my own home. Marcus brings his girlfriend around for dinner occasionally, and I see genuine love and respect in their relationship. Not all children are corrupted by greed and entitlement. Good people still exist, even within families touched by betrayal and criminal behavior. Hope survives even after the worst revelations. The legal system worked exactly as it should, protecting the vulnerable from family predators who hide behind relationships while committing serious crimes. Justice isn't always perfect, but in this case, it provided protection and appropriate consequences for someone who chose criminal behavior over family loyalty. Dr. Williams continues our sessions, helping me process the ongoing impact of family betrayal. Healing doesn't mean forgetting, she reminds me. It means learning to live with the knowledge while refusing to let it destroy your capacity for appropriate trust in genuinely safe relationships. Today, I woke up in my own home, surrounded by people who truly love me, protected by legal safeguards, and free from the constant threat of manipulation. Sophia's plan failed completely, and I remain in control of my life, my assets, and my decisions about how to spend my remaining years. The stack of forged papers still sits in the police evidence room, a reminder of how close I came to losing everything to someone I trusted completely. But they also represent my survival, my strength, and my refusal to become a victim of family crime without fighting back. If you're reading this and recognize warning signs in your own family, please seek help immediately. Elder abuse is real, often committed by trusted family members, and completely unacceptable regardless of relationships or financial desperation. You deserve protection, respect, and safety in your own home. My story isn't unique. but it is a warning about the reality of family financial abuse in today's world. Love doesn't protect against greed, trust doesn't prevent betrayal, and being someone's parent doesn't guarantee their loyalty or respect when money becomes more important than family bonds. The daughter who grabbed my hair and screamed demands is gone, replaced by a prisoner serving time for her crimes. The mother who trusted blindly is also gone, replaced by someone wiser, more cautious, but still capable of love within appropriate boundaries. We both changed that day forever. Sometimes justice means protecting yourself from family members who have chosen crime over love. Sometimes healing means accepting that some relationships cannot be saved when one person refuses to respect basic boundaries or legal requirements. Sometimes survival means letting go of people you once cherished completely. But even after experiencing the worst betrayal imaginable, life continues, love survives, and hope remains possible for those brave enough to protect themselves and seek help when family members become predators. The sunrise still comes, bringing new possibilities and the promise of safer days ahead.